Hey there, my name is Eduardo, but I'm also known as Jadiel Latino prop maker in the cosplay community and in Instagram as well. Today I'm gonna be showing you a couple of basic things for foamsmithing, prop making, crafting. This will be an ongoing full series. I'll be showing you how to make full costume, props, weapon props, any kind of just cosplay related things in general. It'll be both from viewer suggestions, commissions, and my own personal projects as well. As you may have seen in the title already, we're going to be making Monster Hunter armor, specifically the Rathalos Swordmaster, the male version by the way. I'm going to be showing you how to make your own templates without having to buy anything online. I'm going to be showing you how to do specific details and specific parts from it, just how to achieve organic looking armor in general. Also, how to combine it with medieval style armor, because if you've seen the game Monster Hunter, the armors are a mixture of organic and medieval style armor. The very first things you're going to need to make this armor is the foam, and there are different types of foam. So here I got the first example. Floor mats. Where can you get floor mats? You can get them online, you can get them at Walmarts, Kmarts. I've gotten them at Pep Boys, retail stores, craft stores as well. It all depends on where you're from, but these are pretty easy to achieve. Now, if you want something a little more professional, then you can visit a store such as TNT Cosplay Supply. By the way, this is not a sponsored video, but I had to tell you about their store because they sell super high quality foam and it doesn't have a textured side like the floor mats. Apart from foam that you can get online from either TNT Cosplay Supply or any other cosplay material supplier as well, you can also get foam from art stores such as this one for the smaller details. Now, there are different types of foam and they have different purposes. Let me get the floor mat again. Now, floor mat foam measures 10 millimeters in thickness. This foam is perfect for structural parts and just very, very thick detail in general. Now, for the smaller parts, you're gonna need 6 millimeter foam, which is for smaller details like this one. And finally, 2 millimeter foam, which works for even smaller details, but this one is more of a optional selection. Now, really quick, I'm also gonna show you and explain to you a couple of tools that you're gonna need and why you're gonna need them. First off, to cut the foam, you're gonna need any kind of craft blade. I usually have multiple, such as the thin one, the thicker one, the heavy duty ones for bigger parts, and also a very, very handy tool, an X-Acto knife for precision cutting, curves, and anything that you couldn't do with a bigger knife like this one. You're gonna need markers to draw the templates. No need to explain anything there. You're gonna need a heat gun to heat the foam, shape it, and also seal it. And then another tool, an adhesive like contact cement. I wouldn't recommend hot glue because normal temperatures can melt it, so I always recommend contact cement, even if it's a little toxic. And apart from the contact cement, you're also gonna need a rotary tool. It can be any kind of rotary tool, just as long as it has different types of tips, sanding tips, grinding tips, and these type of tips as well for smaller details and when you have to get inside, crevices like these and you need something small to be able to reach in. All right, this part is gonna be mostly up to you. All right, I'm gonna encourage your creativity, your own talent and imagination here. But essentially, I'm gonna show you 3 or 4 things. I'm gonna show you how to make the templates for the smaller claws, like this one, the templates for the bigger one, for the more straight type of protrusion, instead of a claw, this is more of a protrusion, but it's basically gonna be almost the same principle. So, back to the smaller claws. Depending on how steep you wanna make them, you essentially make a curve then a counter curve, and then the bottom part. You make 2 of these. You're gonna make them contrary, and in the middle you're gonna put a normal triangle, a little longer, which is essentially gonna be the back part. So you're gonna join this part with this part, and then this will go in the back. That's for the smaller claws. The bigger one, same principle on a larger scale. All right, you already know where I'm going with this, and eventually I end up showing you guys how to Dremel the texture and the scale into it, so that's gonna come later. For this one, you wanna make a more straight type of triangle, 2 of them, and you actually wanna make a 3rd one. Granted, it doesn't have to be that thick. You make 3 of them, you join them up, you Dremel the edges, as I'm gonna show you later when we make the gauntlet, and then you Dremel the texture, same thing as with the scales. But these are essentially the templates you're gonna need for the claws and the horns. Now, the scales, a basic scale pattern. For the middle ones, you make them like this, like a little house. For the ones on the outside, you can make them a little longer. And for the ones on the outside, you can essentially overlap them a little bit, so that when you make the other one, you see it starts getting this more natural look. Rather than looking symmetrical, you want to make it a little bit asymmetrical. But that's essentially it. And then you do the middle one, and that's how you make the scale pattern. All right, this applies for both the gauntlets and the shin, but on a much larger scale. And even for the ones on the torso, even for these ones here, you just draw a different shape, but that's basically how a scale has to look. All right, and you get the texture and the roundness from the Dremeling, which will come up later during the time lapse. Now we're gonna go into the time lapse, or before the time lapse, a little explanation on the other hand-drawn templates. So I hope you guys enjoy. Alright, so I have my friend here. His name is Yomi, but he's also known as Chewyvids. He has his own YouTube channel, and he's helping me set all of this up today. And he's also learning the ways of cosplay here. Now that we know how to do our templates, we're gonna trace them, we're gonna cut them, we're gonna assemble them, and that's gonna be on a time lapse. Right after we assemble everything, we're gonna try it on and show you the final result.
I'm pretty new at this. My friend here, Jadiel, he's a really committed person. He's very talented, and he has a lot of potential into hand making cosplay, as you can see. And today we're gonna show you that.
Well, without further ado, let's get into the crafting, the foamsmithing. It's gonna be a time lapse, as I already mentioned before, and we'll be right back after the time lapse.
Listen, man.
Right, we got rid of the easy part. We have our triangles, because that's what they are, and we're gonna make them look like scales. How do we do that? We need either a sanding bit or a grinding tip, but I would recommend the grinding tip because it's gonna make the cuts smoother. But if you prefer the more rough and fuzzy cuts, then you can use the sanding bit. Now this one is pretty used up already. I recommend you to use a new one. So we're gonna go with the grinding tip. Rotary tool can get very messy, so always have either a broom or just something to clean the aftermath.
Be sure to always have a mask on as well. That way you don't have like dust, breathing in some dust and
yeah, it's toxic and it's not good. I've been through that before, trust me, not good. So essentially the first thing we're gonna do, we're gonna Dremel the borders to round them off, and then we're gonna carve the cracks. Right, so now that we explained the purpose of all the materials and the tools and all of the parts you're going to need, we're going to do templates. And the first thing you're going to do is a duct tape dummy. It's better if you have someone to assist you with this part because, you know, to wrap yourself in duct tape more efficiently and then cut you free. And why would you want to do this? Because this dummy is going to be an exact proportion of whatever body part you decided to wrap and then cut free. You cut it into parts and you have templates of whatever body part you wrap around. So we're going to demonstrate that right now.
In this case, we're going to be doing
the bicep
the
and
bicep.
shoulder. This is what you should have, the shoulder and what wraps around your bicep. And now the Monster Hunter part has layers, so you're gonna trace those layers, hand draw them, and you're gonna cut the template along those lines. You should look like this, all right? We showed you how to make templates with a duct tape dummy. We showed you how to draw templates for claws and scales on paper by hand. I do give you a bit of guidance because I know that it might not be the easiest thing. And this is all without having to buy templates from the internet or have to make them on a computer program. This is basically cosplay on a budget. You know, we're trying to do it with things you have laying around and for a more basic beginner level. Which, granted, this is a little more on the complicated side, but we try to show you that it's not impossible.
That's basically it for today's video, guys. I really hope you guys enjoyed today's video. Make sure to subscribe to Jalier's channel. This is potentially going to be his first video. I hope you guys really appreciate the hard work that both of us were putting onto this. Most of all, I hope that you enjoy.
Follow me on Instagram. I post everything that I make, or 99% of it, there. You can see what I'm doing before I do it on YouTube. Alright, you can see the crafts and the builds before I even make a tutorial or finish editing a tutorial, if you want to see what I'm up to, you can see it on Instagram or on Facebook, which will be linked
down below in the description.
And
yeah, be sure to subscribe for more, for future videos. Hit the bell icon so you can get notifications for whenever he tries to upload a new video. It's been a pleasure to be collabing with you, man.
It's been a pleasure, man.
I learned a lot.
Definitely.
It's been your boy
Certainly.
Chewy Bits here, Yadiel. I hope I'll see you next on the video.